Hey nerds, welcome to the KenCast, episode 5. So I made a promise. First off, I must apologize. I made a promise to, post an episode every Friday. Uh, if you haven't noticed, I did not post one last Friday. Alas, I was tired and unfortunately I'm lazy. Right, so I apologize. So I've begun to do something, right? It is currently 12:11 on the 12th of December, right? And I'm sitting here, unable to go to sleep, so I'm just sitting in front of my computer, recording a KenCast. That's literally it. I was like, well, why are you awake, Kenny? Well, I'll tell you. Through a bout of anxiety, as I decided to pick up my phone, lay in the bed, as I normally do, right? Through a bout of anxiety, I realized I have a lot of things I need to do. And because of that, I stayed awake. And I'm thinking, how can I get rid of this anxiety? Let's just talk to myself for 30 minutes. That's fine. That'll work. So, here I am, right? Oh, because I didn't get one Friday, right? I'm starting to do something. I'm going to do a backlog, right? So I'm going to record episodes, maybe before whenever inspiration strikes me. And I'm just going to post them. Because I should be able to record the things. Not only like a couple, like tens of so megabytes, so it checks out, right? Anyway, I don't like to be negative, okay? I have an anecdote for you. I have a good anecdote for you. It's a great story. Settle down, right? But no, I don't like to be negative, right? But nonetheless, here's a story, okay? I'll set up the scene first, right? So, I was playing tennis on the Ranger team, okay? While we played with them, we went in my friend Sam's car, right? In there, I called it the banana bus. They called it the party bus. I called it the banana bus. It's not even a bus, it's more like a party car. But I called it the banana bus because it has a ring to it, right? Nonetheless, what we do is that we go into the car, right? And on the way to our games that are not at our high school, right? We would play music on the way, right? And he's like, oh, well, what music do you listen to? Well, of course, we have some mixed in of rappers that I have no idea their names, because apparently every year it appears there's a new hit, like top rap. I don't know, mumble rap. Sometimes good rap, sometimes great lyrics that I can truly enjoy. But nonetheless, we play music. Of course, we always want to go back to the the hits, right? We'll play like "Don't Stop Believing," "Girls Want to Have Fun," those kind of things, right? And that's fun, right? That's amazing. I loved it. It was like I know it's kind of sad, but it was one of the highlights of tennis, okay? We were kind of bad, but nonetheless, that's how it goes. Okay, there's just alright, that's fine. Hopefully nothing cut out. Something popped up on my computer. Anyway. As we play this music, right? I understand people don't like this, okay? We would kind of blast the music, okay? I understand that, it's very rude, right? That's very rude to blast music, right? Because that's public, right? But I did not have control of what my friends wanted to do. I told them, what we should do is on the road, we'd roll up the windows, right? And we did. So that's the best I could do, right? But at the school, we just blasted because we were just making fun of it, right? Nonetheless, I love doing that, right? So after tennis season was over, right? I was hanging out with more friends to go get food at Wendy's. And I, not having any money, decided I'm just going to tag along, right? Because it would be fun. Because we're going to do the exact same thing. We're just going to play music in the car, right? So, we drive on the way to McDonald's. We put on the music. We start having fun. We're having a great time doing lunchtime, right? And on the way there, right, we pull into the parking lot, okay? I am kind of cold. I really want a blanket. Hold on. We're going to post the anecdote real quick. I need a blanket. Your boy's kind of cold. Yeah. Oh, wait, there's a jacket here. Oh, my gosh. Lucky me. Hold on. Okay. Your boy's going to put on the jacket first. It is cold. I'm upstairs. Oh, my gosh. I'm right next to a 3 by 5 foot window. It isn't the bueno. You can probably hear my voice. I'm kind of shaking. Anyway, back to the end, right? So we pull into the parking lot, right? My friend pulls in the parking lot, and I'm here in the passenger seat, okay? Keep in mind I'm in the passenger seat, right? I don't have my license yet. nor my permit. And I'm relatively old, even despite that fact, right? Nonetheless, here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Right? Okay, anyway. Aside from that, right? We pull into the parking lot. My friend, he's been driving for a long time, right? He's not a bad driver by any means, but he does pull in the parking lot, into his parking space, a little skewed, right? Within the boundaries, mind you, okay? As in his car's within the white lines, which I think is what, parking space is for, right? And I'm looking at him, it's like, hey, is it good? He's like, yeah, it's fine. I'm like, okay, I don't know how to drive, right? So I'm just gonna trust you, right? Then to my right, I'm in the shotgun, right? I'm in the passenger seat. To my right, a lady comes in with I think it's a 8-person cedar car, right? It's not like one of those vans. I don't know cars either, as you can tell, but it's not like one of those vans, right? But it can seat 8 people. And this car, I don't want to make assumptions, right? But I assume this woman might have been homeless or charitable, because this car was filled to the brim with clothes, with boxes, with everything you could think of, right? Sort of house necessities. I'm like, okay. The first thing that comes to mind is this person is homeless, right? Now, you might think that's a very rude thing for you to think of. I was like, yes, but I didn't say anything, so it's not a problem, is it? That's what I thought. And then my next thought was, okay, that's rude. People are going to think I'm rude, so let's think this person's charitable, right? Because, physically speaking, you were unable to get into the car except for the driver's seat. You were physically unable to get to any other seat in that car. Even the trunk was filled. That car was packed, right? Anyway, I'm like, okay, this woman, pretty old, right? And now I go into more stereotypical thinking, right? I think of, maybe this is somewhat mean, but I think of the elderly in a couple ways, right? In sort of a scale, right? On one end, they're old and they're bitter and they hate life, right? On the other hand, they're very, very nice, kind of like your grandparents, right? Well, I guess they're both. But one's like, the grandma that loves you, gives you all the food, hugs you all the time, spoils you, let's be honest, right? On the left, the strict one. Very hard to find, but generally very, very, let's say, just doesn't enjoy life, it appears to you. Anyway, I assume this woman was on the right, as in she was extremely nice, because in all honesty, that's where most people are, in the nice area. Most people are nice, right? And so I'm like, okay, she's pulling up, I'm just gonna wait, because if I open the door, right, she's probably gonna touch the door, so I'll just chill in it, right? As she pulls up, she decides, she's opening up, so I'm like, okay, she's parked, I can get out, right? I get out of the car, right? And she decides to open the door at the same time. I'm like, okay. So I stop. She gets out. I open the car. I get out, right? And then she looks at me and she says, nice parking, butthole. But of course, replace butthole with profanity. And I'm here like, okay, lady, we need to have a talk. Okay? Because in my mind, I was initially very confused. Because I looked back, right? She went back in her car after that. I'm like, okay, what? So I look at the car, right? And it's, again, within lines, right? And I'm thinking again, wait. She said that to me. I'm not even driving the car. Why would you tell me my parking is bad? I don't even have a driver's license. And I'm like, immediately I go through the 4 stages of grief, right? I think it's first it's frustration or anger, something along those lines, right? Then you go to sadness, denial, sadness, acceptance, right? I was in initially that anger / denial, because I was thinking some very pessimistic things about this lady, right? We have never met before, and the first thing she says to me is, she curses at me, essentially, right? I'm like, that was my life. And okay, of course, you don't want to pick a fight with the person there, right? I'm not going to do that. I'm never going to pick a fight with, I hope, anyone, for that matter. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. We'll just walk away. And I did. He walked into the store, right? But I needed a way to get this off my chest. And so I proceeded to vent to my friends about this. And I told them the story. I told my friend Justin the story. And he says, feels bad, man. And I'm like, you have no idea how bad this makes me feel. Because I like to say I'm a nice person. I like to say I would apologize. But if I were to apologize to that lady, I feel like based off how she reacted by jumping to conclusions and all that, she would continue to say mean things about me. And the last thing I want is for my friends to come into it, because in honesty, if I told them at the time, they would defend me. I would hope, right? And maybe not for this case, but they'd be like, hey man, that's not cool, right? Or hey lady, that's not cool, all right? Chill, right? It's fine. We're good, right? But then that's like, an argument. I don't want that. I just want to go inside, have my boys get some Wendy's, talk about the Wendy's, talk about random stuff, and get out and go back, right? Because I still got classes to get to. And on the way back, I entered the next stage, which was like, depression, a mild depression. I don't like to use depression, but a mild sadness, right? To run the car, I was legitimately bummed. But like the rest of the day, I was bummed off this encounter. Because I was just in that car right now. We're still blasting music on the way back, right? But I'm just like, I'm still in the shotgun seat after on the way back. And I'm just looking out the window. I'm not even paying attention to what the music on. I don't even remember the music we played. I'm just looking out the window just like, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. Now, hey Kenny, are you out of that stage yet? I would say I will never get out of that stage. Because that encounter really made me sad. I haven't yet. I've reached the point where I think it's like the fourth stage, which is acceptance, right? I'm getting there, and the more I talk about it, the more I'm reaching that spot. Ironically enough, oddly enough, right? But nonetheless, that is my story of a complete misunderstanding and a completely avoidable day, right? Because that lady could have allowed me, I'm shaking the mic. That lady could have allowed me to enjoy the rest of my day, right? And say, oh, they're just, if she had those notions, right? And maybe our parking was off. I don't know. Again, I don't have a license, right? But it was within the white lines. That's all I know. Just to show you how much I know. But if that wasn't good enough and she had that, sure, right? But did she need to call the person in the passenger seat a butthole? That is where I think I draw the line. But anyway, to move aside from this negativity, I don't like to talk about negative stuff. That's not what I like to do on KenCast. I don't want to complain. I definitely don't want to complain. And so, I was thinking about the opening, right? My friends are saying, you need to figure out an opening you can say at the beginning of every KenCast. I'm like, okay, makes sense. I've been modeling, a YouTuber that I've been watching for a couple of years. His name is Northern Line. He does similar anecdotes in a way that he just plays over a game instead, posts on a channel about 30 minutes for the game runs, and so he talks for 30 minutes about whatever random anecdotes come in his life, right? And he opens with, hey everybody. And if you don't know, I have been saying that. But I'm like, that's kind of, I'll be honest, that's technically, that's not original, right? So, okay, what would I say to people, right? I can't say, hey guys, because I know, if I don't want to be sexist or offend people, I should, usually people don't care, right? And, as it should be. It's just a generic greeting. I'm thinking, okay, what word can I use that doesn't irritate people, right? But yet it is truly me. And I use the word, as you've heard in the beginning, nerds. Now, nerd has had an odd connotation throughout my life. I haven't lived that long a life, mind you, but it has had an odd shift in how I perceive nerd. Because I'm thinking back, in childhood, right? Nerd was kind of, it is truly an insult in, elementary school and middle school, right? Well, maybe less middle school, but mostly elementary school. It is an insult. I believe it is an insult. Because if you're like, the kind of nerdy kid, there's a preconceived notion that people don't hang around you, right? And the cool kids, the ones that are kind of, outgoing, kind of sometimes stupid. Maybe that's just me, but that's what I've experienced. They're usually not the brightest kids on the block. Some of them are geniuses, undoubtedly, but usually not the brightest kids on the block, right? But as I've gone on, right, that idea has kind of changed. I mean, let's go back even further before we do that, right? If we go back to the 1900s, right? The image of a nerd was like, that skinny, scrawny kid, kind of big buck teeth, sometimes has braces, right? And those big glasses, right? People pick on him, right? People pick on him, and he's usually the one that's like, sometimes a focused story on him. They'll have this arc about, he likes this girl, but he's way out of his league, but she's way out of his league, he's trying to get her. That girl is talking to, like, the jock of the school. The jock of the school is actually a bully, that kind of stuff. And, you have this journey, essentially, right? Very generic, but you can picture it, right? You can picture this. Because, I don't know, it's kind of been, the horse has been beaten, I think. The horse has been beaten quite a lot. That's an analogy, not actually. I hope no one assumes that's not an analogy. But now, the definition of a nerd, or should I say, as I grow older, the definition of a nerd has changed drastically. The cool guy is no longer, well, sometimes he is. In I think college and high school, this still applies, definitely middle school, right? The cool guy is still, the jock, the athletic person, the outgoing, almost a little crazy, a little dangerous, that sort of vibe to him, right? Vibe to them, I should say. But at the same time, the nerd in high school and college is also sometimes some of the coolest people you'll ever meet. Like, let's be honest, right? Because at a certain point, we come to a realization, right, that, school is kind of important. Now, I reached this in ninth grade, right? I reached that epiphany in ninth grade, right? That school is kind of important, right? And at that point, you start looking in the classroom, right, for that one smart kid, a kid that knows everything, right? You can try to befriend that smart kid. Sometimes you always think, right? Sometimes you think, if you're confident, right, that if you have a smart friend and you're also smart, that you're always just a little bit smarter than your friend. It's something with you. It's like confidence, and it's nice. It's good. I have my friends. They're definitely extremely smart, probably smarter than I am. But while I'm working with them, I will think that I hold an edge somewhere. I don't know where, but somewhere. Maybe it's just me being, a little arrogant, maybe naive, but that's just me, right? But going into these classes, you look for that smart kid, and that smart kid is the nerd. He's the one who's kind of quiet, right? Sometimes there's always exceptions, right? But usually they're quiet, right? They sit in like the back of the class, or they sit right in front with the teacher, right? They're very studious. They take a lot of notes, right? You can see it from the demeanor the moment they start talking to you, right? They carry their voice very lightly, and they don't really move much, right? It's almost as if they would never start a conversation, right? I came in as that student. I slowly branched away from that into a little more, I think the word is bombastic. Maybe that's putting myself negatively, but I think the word actually is bombastic. But yeah, at the beginning, you see that, and there's a true powerhouse when the nerds start, coming together, right? And this only gets more and more prevalent because as you grow older, right? It's not the cool kids, right? The cool kids are no longer, at the end, like when you're actually in college, right? There are kids, who are drinking, throwing parties, rich kids that, I think, in my opinion, you're free to disagree, I think are, wasting their parents' money or their own money, and not really they're gonna regret it, is what I think. Do I know that? Of course not. I don't know what they do. As far as I know, some of them might be extremely hard workers, on the other hand, right? And they're actually more diligent than I am. They just know how to balance their time, or get rid of sleep, however you want to think about it, right? But those guys start to be pushed to the side more and more as age goes on. And in the workforce, I would assume the smart kids, the nerds, right? Those people are sought after. Like, I'm assuming companies love those people. Those people that, they're kind of awkward, but they have the ability to talk to people. They can do it, and they're extremely smart. They got this, this curiosity about them. This burning passion for something you don't really know yet. But when you figure it out, you see their eyes light up, And they can talk about it for hours and hours and hours. And if you find that and you like it as well, you find out you're wonderful friends. Usually. I have no idea how that works. And that's what I'm thinking. So, as it's gone on, right, I'm going to introduce myself and the KenCast with nerd now, because I think it's actually a compliment at this point. And I think it should be a compliment. I don't know, there are other people that watch this that I did not expect to watch this. I expected to do this just for my friends at school. But there are apparently other people. Do I know who they are, where they're from? No, but welcome. It is wonderful to have you. Oh, should I make this shorter? I don't think I should. I should try to hit at least near the 30-minute mark. I don't know. Let's think of something else a little positive. I came up with 2 anecdotes, right? Oh, another anecdote. I don't read. I'm just going to say it. I don't read in my free time. And I think there's a lot of bad things about not reading in my free time, right? First off, I don't get the references people make to Harry Potter. I'll just show you how little I know, I should say. I don't get the reference made to Harry Potter, to Lord of the Rings. Is that a book series? I hope not. See, again, how little I know, right? Let's say any one of those things. I think it's like, poetry. Let's say even in like any literature class, right? I'll see exchange students come in. My friend from Ghana came in, right? I think that's the place. I hope I'm not getting that wrong. But he came in and he had read a lot of Shakespeare. And I'm like, that's amazing. You read in your free time? It's like, no, didn't you say you read Shakespeare in free time? No. You read in your free time? And I was very, very surprised, oddly enough. Because, I don't know, within my school, apparently, right? Within my school, I don't know a lot of people who read. Maybe this is bad, right? I know there's an idea that Generation Z or the millennials, I don't know which one is which, those people don't read a lot. And so the vocabulary has gone down a lot. There's no studies that prove or disprove or all that kind of thing, but that's what I've heard. Again, just what I've heard. And I feel guilty. I feel like I should go out there and enjoy literature because, in all honesty, I doubt there's nothing to lose from reading literature. You train your mind to stay sharp, let's say you understand wonderful things about the world. You get new perspectives, right? And here I am, sitting down, not doing the KenCast because I'm lazy, doing my homework because I need to, being lazy and not signing up for college because I'm procrastinating, essentially. And, just not really doing much except playing games, watching YouTube videos, right? I'm thinking, wow, if I spent this free time reading a good book, how much happier would I be? Because I've sort of grown an appreciation the older and older I've gotten. These books are genius. The tactics some of these people use to create a story are amazing. I'm reading, Frankenstein in my class right now, right? And, I'm just less than 10, 11 pages in, and I'm loving it. So much analysis I can do about what could happen. I'm sounding like a nerd, and some people are getting a little bit of anxiety thinking about this, so I don't want to press on this too much further, right? But I think about it, and it's like, wow, these people who have made these books, right? They did an amazing job, and I appreciate the hard work, and I really, really just, I appreciate the hard work. It's like, wow, that's brilliant, and I love it. And so I'm thinking, okay, well, not every book has to be, theme and, something about that, right? But some of them can be even easier. Like I'm thinking about, and I hate to say it, Winnie the Pooh, the Hungry Caterpillar, right? Actually, here's the scary part. I don't know if kids will recognize the Hungry Caterpillar. That is the truly scary part right now. Winnie the Pooh, right? And the Hungry Caterpillar. I don't think people recognize it. And that's really scary because I had talked to my cousins, right? And they did. but they're relatively studious. So, take it as you will. Take it with a grain of salt. But like, I talked to others. Some kids didn't know what it was. And I was very, very afraid for some reason. So I'm thinking, we're in this age, and I don't want to, be pressing anything. I just want to say my thoughts. Feel free to disagree in any fashion. I'm almost certainly I'll be wrong in a lot of these aspects, but nonetheless, these are my thoughts, right? I have spent so much time entertaining myself, which is a good thing, experience, childhood, that sort of wistfulness, right? But I haven't really grown a love for books. I'm falling behind. I've spent so much time, YouTube and games, that I haven't really tried to delve into anything like that. Right? Maybe that's the reason why I don't really have an interest in things. I was thinking engineering, but that's kind of stereotypical. And they always say, oh, everyone's becoming an engineer, right? And then they take the program, and then they hate it and they drop out. I'm like, okay, makes sense. True, totally understandable. But I'm just wondering if I should feel bad for not reading books. Because, well, I have no obligation to read a book, right? And no one's going to really judge me, or at least not actively, most people won't, if I don't read a book. They'll be like surprised, undoubtedly, when they hear I haven't read a single Harry Potter book. What's it? It might have been the Magic Treehouse. The Magic Treehouse books. I haven't read any of those, right? And they'll be like, what have you done as a child? And I'm like, I'll tell them. Well, I went out to the back. I set my lawn on fire. And I captured bugs, right? And I don't know if I should really feel guilty about not reading books. It's kind of like an obligation. And I've been telling myself I actually don't need to feel guilty, because one of my mentors, right, for college, I constantly told him, I feel like I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do that, right? And he says, well, you don't really need to. And I'm like, wow, a college mentor is telling me I don't really need to do this, right? And I'm thinking, we have an expectation, right, that we should become the best person we can be, essentially, right? If you can be nice, why don't you be nice, right? If you can be charitable, why don't you be charitable, right? And I don't know, these expectations, I understand them, undoubtedly. I understand them, right? Based on, what I've just said, right? I understand, you should, sign up for college, right? You should try to get scholarships. You should, try hard in school. You should, you shouldn't waste your money on trivial things, whatever society depicts it so, or however you perceive it. But I've sort of grown away from that. For better or for worse, I've somewhat grown away from that. Like, I've lost this sort of responsibility. Maybe it's just because I'm lazy. It could simply be laziness I'm misinterpreting. But I've felt a detachment from responsibility. And because of that, I felt... That's probably the anxiety I felt at the beginning today. Because as that burden has gone, I've removed this responsibility almost in a way, right? But at the same time, it's creeping up on me. And the burden is slowly getting heavier upon my shoulders and my heart. And that kept me awake. And so I'm at this dilemma. And I'll give you my best answer, I suppose, right? The question is whether or not I should try to live up to expectations. And if I do, essentially the question truly is, how much do I try to live up to expectations? And my answer to that, relatively unpolished, is I live up to my own expectations. I live up to my own set of rules, right? Because I've been pushed, undoubtedly, to try hard. And I don't think I could ever not. I maybe sound like I'm bragging, but I'm serious. I don't think I could will myself into doing some things. Like, growing up, you tell yourself, your parents tell you, don't kill people. And if you're given the opportunity to, right, undoubtedly, I would never kill someone. it's just not part of me, right? I couldn't. It's so ingrained into me. I could never try to get rid of it, right? And so it's a mix. It's a mix between my expectations of how I should become and society's expectations. And so I've struck a balance, a shaky one, that says I can be lazy and I will procrastinate and I will not be the best person I can be. But I will still attempt to be a great person. I will do the right thing in the right circumstance. And I will be happy, essentially. So that's my answer. Maybe you want to think about that. Maybe I've kept you up because I doubt I'm going to post this today, probably Friday. And I will record another one whenever inspiration strikes me. But anyway, it is 12:41 a.m. I have school tomorrow. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Goodbye. Maybe not goodbye. I'll work on that outro as well. Anyway, see you nerds.